Well, what's new this week on the Withlacoochee River Railroad? Why don't you follow me through the intro and we'll come back and talk about it. Well, welcome back to the Withlacoochee River Railroad and the Withlacoochee River Report number 60. Yeah, we're up to number 60 now. I've only been redoing the Withlacoochee River Report for, I've been doing it off and on all along for about the last 12 or 13 years, but, you know, they were very few and far between there for quite a while. As you can see, I've got the water tower up to par here, almost up to par. It's kind of a sad-looking building. I mean, I don't mean sad-looking in the way that it's weathered or anything. I mean, that only helped enhance it and make it look a little bit better. I don't know that I'm going to necessarily keep that water tower or even keep it on the railroad. I've got another water tower kit in the house. I may just go ahead and build that, but it's more of a branch line water tower than this is. This looks kind of like at least a mainline water tower. I finally got that flat car where it's operational. It's got a black wash drying on the deck now, but it is operational. It's got 2 rail trucks and KD couplers on it now. I had to change the trucks out for some Athearn. Well, I think one of them's an Athearn and one of them's an Intermountain. I'm running out of trucks here. Got a boxcar on the road. Well, let's get over here and let me bring the train around so you can see that boxcar. I couldn't back that one up. That engine's running on a bridge rectifier. Yeah, that their Southern Pacific car that's right in front of the Great Northern Boxcar. That's an old AHM Polo Maxi car from the 1970s. The old blue boxcar there, the old blue, this big sky blue Great Northern boxcar is an old Atlas Roco boxcar from the 1970s. What I mean by I finally got that Southern Pacific car going, The problem you run into with the old AHM cars is the couplers they put on them will not work with anything but the couplers that they come with. So you got to cut them off the trucks. They're still Talgo type couplers, but you got to cut them off the truck, and then find a way to either put in. You can put O-gauge trucks under the car. People have done it. But it is a full 40-foot O-scale car. It's one of the little bit shorter, a little bit less capacity box cars that were around in those days. And that was really the only sliding door box car AHM ever did in O-scale. They also had a reefer car. I haven't run into any of those, which is strange. They did this one, or at least a plug door box car, but it was a reefer. It was built as a refrigerator car. They did this sliding door box car, which I found this one a couple of years ago at a show. I think I paid like $10 for it. So I know I didn't pay too much for it, but it was still new in the box. No, they're not worth any more with the box. Although some people seem to think they just like Lionel when they own it, right? This was the same way. It was new in the box when I found it. And, of course, I was able to put the Atlas car right on the track and just run it. And that was never a problem. This one here, it presented a problem because it's kind of like the difference in HO scale between horn hook couplers, or the X2F coupler, and the KDs. They're not going to mate with each other. So you've got to take and modify it by putting KDs on it. There's no real choice in the matter. Or again, you could put Lionel trucks with the couplers built in under it. As like I said, people have done that before. Another box car, and I got this one going a while back. Let me pull it up a little bit. The Pennsylvania X29 box car there. Now that one's an old kit. I picked that up at a show, and again, it's a nice old box, and it's set up to run on two rails. Or no, wait a minute, that one had Lionel trucks under it. I picked that up, and it's got Athearn trucks under it now. Athearn 2-rail trucks, KD couplers, and the car runs and rides just beautifully. In fact, that's one of my nicest riding cars on 2-rail cars on 3-rail track I think I've ever seen. So, again, that one was set up and running a while ago. I don't think I've ever really said anything about it. So I've gotten more rolling stock going now, and that's a good thing. Also in the news this week, well, evidently the liquid traction tires by a company called Bullfrog Snot doesn't seem to work very well. It seems to, they'll work fine for about a day, and then, once they get worn in, they kind of just shrivel up and turn to nothing and right on the wheel. So, needless to say, the Bullfrog Snot ain't what it promises to be. Don't waste your money on it. Just saying. So now I'm going to have to wait either very patiently or very painfully. Don't know the difference between the two. To get some traction tires for my Alcos, both my Alcos from MTH. It seems to me, the diesel wheel sets, for the most part, should all be the same size, at least in those F-unit series. You should be able to use traction tires from just about anybody. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get some traction tires, because Dana does not carry any parts whatsoever for O-Gauge. He will not carry them. He won't even work on it unless it's something easy he can do, you know. He works strictly on HO scale stuff. Yeah, but you know, you could carry at least a few of those standard parts that everybody's going to need. You know, that would make sense. That would make sense to me anyway. But as you know, I did a program on the tower there. I've got the tower sitting in the yard. I don't know whether it's going to be a yard tower or some kind of a signal tower out on the main. Also, the municipal building, or the the courthouse, or not the court, yeah, the courthouse in the back. I called it a courthouse. It looks like one. But they both got done pretty simultaneously. Of course, the courthouse got done first, and it was done in two parts, in a two-part series. If you're interested in how I got the courthouse to look like it looks, let me pull the train a little bit further ahead there so you can see it. Well, now I got the tower in the way. I plan on having that courthouse sitting kind of up on a hill up in the corner there. And I think it'll look pretty good. I think it'll look great sitting up there. Yeah, it's dirty. Building, damn it. It's gotta be dirty. And as you can see, the yard tower, or the signal tower, whichever you prefer to call it, is it's finally somewhat done. I still need to get a smoke jack for it. I don't know. I'll probably just make one or something. That's probably the best thing I could do. If I have something round and it'll fit in that hole, I'll just glue it in, paint it black. But as you can see, the building's looking pretty darn good. And it looks like it belongs in a rail yard. And that's, you can see that plainly that it's got window glass in it. Something you would not normally see on a Plasticville or K-Lineville building. And I don't know why. Okay, I've been thinking more lately about the yard. I mean, right now, as everybody knows, the yard is just there. It's just sitting there. It's doing nothing other than holding cars, which is fine. That's what yards do. They hold rolling stock until it's ready to be moved. At least that's the idea behind the operation. And as most of you know, I have I've got enough Gargraves track. I'm going to be converting the main line to Gargraves track before too much longer. I've been wanting to do that for a while. I'll have to make some modification to the bench work right in that area, because right there, believe it or not, the plastic Lionel roadbed is what's holding the track up right over that, right where you see that, right in front of where you see that courthouse. I need to get some plywood in there, and then I want to run a passing siding right next to it, to this side of it. There is enough room, believe it or not, to do that. I want to get the yard operational, and in order to do that, of course, as everyone knows, I now have another CW80 power supply, which will help with that. That was the idea behind getting it, and I'll have it done up in blocks. Each piece of track will be a separate block unto itself. This way it'll allow me to move cars around and switch and make and break down trains. And this curve right here is just way too sharp. I don't know what it is. It looks like about an 015 But I want to take and stretch that curve out and take it up to the main line. So there will be a second switch up there to where the trains will be able to come out of the yard, get onto the main line, and either back into the station or pull into the station or whatever have you. The passing track, of course, will be there for obvious reasons. It's a passing track. Anyway, that's this week's update. We do have a sale or a train show next week on the 22nd in Newport Richey. That's about, if you're traveling this time of day, that's about an hour and a half south of here. Okay, not really. It's about 45 minutes south of here. It's just to the north of St. Petersburg. It's a Regal show, so you can look it up on regalrailways.com, I think it is, and it'll give you all the particulars, including the address to the show. That I don't have in front of me at the moment. In fact, I accidentally deleted the email. I need to go find that information myself. I paid for tables at that show, so hopefully I'll sell a lot there and be able to, get me a good haul there. I don't know if I will be able to or not, but it would be nice to be able to find something new and something desirable. But anyway, I'm just out here today on a Saturday morning, just tidying up some stuff and tying up some loose ends. Like I said, I got that flat car going. I got that box car going finally. I finished at least getting the water tower up to the standards of which it can actually set on the railroad and be a water tower for a change. It's even actually got the spout on it. So let's run a train, shall we? Uh-oh. Give her a little bit. I gotta get that business fixed also. Really? That train ain't that heavy. Uh-oh. That figures. I hate when that happens. That car's been going around, though, and hasn't been derailing, so it's not a common thing for it. I'm sure it was just how I handled the train. Okay, that's too fast for a freight train. next time, happy railroading.